Ava and Carol Detective Agency. The Mystery of the Pharaoh's Diamonds. Get to work. You've got a case to solve. And I've got an article to write about an eccentric rich man in Ireland. Ironically, they think that this guy may be connected to the millions of dollars worth of paintings stolen from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum.
That's incredible, Mom. So they've tracked the paintings to Ireland?
How did the pictures get all the way to Ireland?
Asked Carol. They have secret crime rings that are experts at moving stolen goods out of the country. Private dealers pay thieves millions of dollars to steal and sneak them out of the U.S.
So someone like the rich guy in Ireland could do the same thing with the diamonds that were stolen from the museum, right?
Yes. Matter of fact, the same mysterious millionaire in Ireland just put a pre-bid on Chopin's piano in the original hand-scored version of Prelude No. 4 at a private auction. Together, they're worth well over $15 million. I wasn't supposed to know this, she said, giving a mischievous smile. But I do have a secret inside source.
Secret? By secret source, you mean Detective Edwards,
said Ava matter-of-factly. Her mother blushed for just a moment. Then she quickly regained her composure. Yes, Blake does help me on occasion. Carol looked from Ava to Mrs. Clark, confused.
My mom and her secret source went to middle school and high school together, Ava explained. They were king and queen of the senior prom. Dad was the kid who presented their crowns. He said tears were streaming down Mom's face when their eyes met.
Wow, so romantic,
exclaimed Carol. I was in pain, explained Mrs. Clark. He poked me in the eye when he put the crown on my head.
Hey, he said he stole your heart like a thief in the night, said Ava, and I believe him.
The only thing he stole like a thief in the night was that powder blue tux and white loafers, Mrs. Clark said. Somewhere there's a naked 1980s mannequin missing a leisure suit.
Oh my God,
Carol snorted, picturing Ava's dad in a powder blue tuxedo.
Mom, if Prom King knows who this guy is, why doesn't he work with the police in Ireland? Can't they just search his house for the missing paintings? He probably has tons of famous stolen stuff.
It would be great if it were that easy, her mom replied. No one is quite sure who he is. Everything is purchased through a series of brokers, and he pays them very well. Supposedly, one broker threatened to reveal his identity. He was never seen again.
Whoa, whistled Ava. These guys are serious. I wouldn't want to be called a broker if I worked with priceless art. I think I would rather be called a fixer.
Ava's mother shook her head. A broker is a person that's like a professional shopper. Rich people use experts like these to make purchases for them so they can buy things anonymously. The broker is usually paid a percentage of the sale.
They don't only work with shady deals, though. My dad uses a stockbroker and real estate brokers.
Correct, said Mrs. Clark. There are good and bad brokers, just like there are good and bad business people. As you learn more about the criminal world, you'll learn that there are very sophisticated crime rings that run just like a business. It's why it's called organized crime.
Wait, Mrs. Clark, is your article going to discuss this mysterious guy's identity? I'm only asking because that sounds very dangerous. Like you said, the last guy disappeared.
Ava's smile literally melted from her face.
Mom, you're not really going to try to find out who this guy is, are you?
Yes, I'm going to try to find out who he is. But no, I'm not going to try to expose him. Mrs. Clark smiled reassuringly. We'd have to go into witness protection, and I kind of like our neighborhood and friends. Ava didn't look 100% convinced. She didn't like the thought of anything bad happening to her mom. She got up and gave her a big hug.
Be careful, please. You're the only mom I've got.
Mrs. Clark hugged Ava tightly. Don't you worry. I'll be careful. She grabbed her coffee from the table and walked across the kitchen, stopping in the doorway. Let me know if you need me.
We will, Mom. Thanks again.
Ava turned back to Carol as her mom left the kitchen, a determined look on her face.
If this guy is the same guy behind this robbery, he is going to rue the day he was born.
Rue,
Carol said, smiling at her friend.
Ingenious.
Chapter 7. How do you solve a problem like a logo? Master bassoonist Klaus Thunemann's greatest hits belted from the tiny speaker in Carol's phone. He was just into the kicker of the woeful J.C. Bach concerto when Ava screamed, "Uncle!"
What? I particularly enjoy this piece. It's devilishly difficult, don't you think?
Smirked Carol innocently.
Imagine the finger placement. So complex.
I'm imagining some finger placement right now, and they're around your neck.
You're missing the point. Classical music is supposed to be calming. Relax your shoulders and let it fill your soul.
You're about to feel the sole of my foot. Seriously, enough with the woodwinds.
Fine,
sighed Carol.
But I was making tremendous progress.
Really?
Said Ava skeptically.
Yes, I've made a list of the businesses that would most likely have a logo composed of those historical elements. Would you like to hear my list?
Of course. Amaze me.
Art stores, schools, home and business decorating stores, and museums.
That's pretty good. I would think our best bet would be an art store. The only trucks I've ever seen at our school were mail trucks, FedEx.
Or those food trucks for the cafeteria,
added Carol.
Or some type of business that caters to museums. Maybe some type of renovation business.
Ava nodded.
I'm going to guess that the business would have to be somewhat local. I can't imagine them driving a truck around in the middle of the night with a tarp on it. Nothing says suspicious like driving your truck around wrapped up like a burrito.
Oh my God,
laughed Carol.
Actually, I could go for a burrito right now. I'm starving.
Me too,
said Ava.
Me three,
came a voice from the living room.
That woman's hearing scares me. I truly believe she was a bat in her previous life. I heard that,
yelled Ava's mother.
See?
Said Ava, making an I told you so face.
Alrighty,
she said, turning her attention back to her laptop.
If I draw a 20-mile circle with the museum being in the center, it includes Livingston, Lexington, Concord, and Middleville.
I guess we should start with Livingston. I can't imagine there will be many art stores, said Carol.
Yep,
said Ava. I'm on it. Luckily, Livingston was a small town of 12,000 people. Ava's search brought up 2 art stores and an outdoor faux statue garden center. Nothing says sophisticated like poorly made Romanesque statues with an accompanying spotlight for your front yard. Livingston was a complete bust. No pun intended. The number 346 didn't show up in any of the store's telephone numbers or street addresses. 30 minutes later, the girls had exhausted all their searches. Not being easily defeated, they expanded their search out another 20 miles. But after an exhaustive search, nothing matched the elusive number.
I don't get it,
said Carol disappointedly.
We searched for phone numbers, for addresses. Who else would have a logo with the painting of Mona Lisa or a Caesar on their truck?
A pizza delivery truck?
Offered Ava. Carol brought the picture back up on the computer.
I don't feel like Mona's hungry.
I think she's laughing at us. Look at that pretentious smile.
Oh, you two are on a first-name basis. Suddenly, I feel like the awkward third wheel.
Me and Mona are besties,
laughed Carol.
You know, I'm surprised no one ever stole the Mona Lisa. The painting is actually super small, less than 2 feet wide.
Really? I always thought the painting was giant. Smuggling a famous painting out of the country seems so simple. You could put it in a FedEx tube and ship it to your buyer. It's not likely they examine every one of those tubes.
Ava,
whispered Carol, her eyes growing wide.
You're a genius.
Of course I am,
said Ava, her face filling with pride.
Now tell me why.
If you're enjoying Thomas Lockhaven's audiobook content, please like and subscribe. It's the best way to help out the channel.